If drugs are in our communities, they are in our schools, says one CB East principal, Lucabaugh, who is not burying his head in the sand when it comes to drug abuse among teens.
CB East realized last year that there were a number of students in our building who were either using heroin or on the verge of using it. When I say a number, that really constituted about less than 1% of our student body, but it was around 20, give or take, students who were either in the culture and some who were actually using. Obviously, anytime that there are students using any kind of drug, it's an issue, but with heroin it was particularly of concern because of the intensity and the addictive nature and the devastating effects that it can immediately have on our students. The connotations associated with heroin are such that a lot of people don't want to confront the reality that it may be happening in an area like Buckingham or in an area like Bucks County. And when people feel like they are not threatened or it's not an indictment of them, they're more willing to seek treatment. They're more open to addressing the problem openly. And we found the reality is that it can touch any student. It could be a straight A student, it could be a student who's struggling, it could be an athlete. It's a very nefarious drug. In terms of the decision to go public with the issue that we are having with heroin, I really feel that it's best if we work in conjunction with the community and with our parents and to not be embarrassed, in fact, if there's a drug issue. The reality is that if drugs are in the community, they will inevitably make their way into the school. We felt that rather than go into a state of denial, it would be best to reach out to parents and let them know that in some cases it was happening and what they could do to make sure proactively their sons and daughters wouldn't even inadvertently dabble into this.
I asked him how his school went about investigating who was using heroin.
Well, we found out primarily through two ways. The first was just what we could see. And in some cases we were starting to see behavior changes in a few students, and we were seeing changes physically, the loss of weight, a certain look that came about them, a disconnect from school, from family, from friends. Students really know what's going on out there in the real world and what students are really doing. And they gave referrals out of concern for some of their peers, some of their friends, and we were able to use that to capitalize and get out in front of all of this. And the good news is that each of the students who was involved in this graduated. One really poignant moment that stuck out for me, and it was probably our most pronounced case of heroin use in the building, a young lady who we were able to get into a treatment program, and she was able to return to East and graduate. Her father walked up at the conclusion of graduation and grabbed one of my house principals, Martin Hayes, bear hugged him, kissed the top of his head, and said, "Thank you for saving my daughter's life."
This year, there has been a dramatic decrease in the number of students seeking drug treatment at Central Bucks East. The principal and members of the community are grateful for the programs that were put into place last year that are clearly working. This is Marion Callahan reporting for the Bucks County Courier-Times and the Intelligencer.